Welcome, listeners, to the first episode of Always on Display, bringing you all things tech and games right from our notives. Here's my co-host Roy, and of
Yo.
course, I'm your host Earl. So, I know this is a little confusing because we used to run an old podcast called Tech Talk, and now we're on a different one called Always on Display.
Basically, same topics, different name.
Yep, it's because of the rebranding that our school Academy had to go through. So we had no choice but we decide, okay, why not? Like, yeah, why not like rebrand? It's a nice change of pace. Did think of a new name because let's be real, Tech Talk, as catchy as that sounds, is very close to TikTok. So it would be much better if we decided to go on something more original, like Always on Display or AOD in this case. So, for our first episode, we have a pretty solid lineup for you. We might have talked about this back then in Tech Talk, but we want to remaster it because we've actually had time to do a bit more research, actually use the things we're going to talk about. And those two things would be, Roy, would you care to tell us?
Okay, Earl. What is the English of wala?
Nothing. Of course, we're gonna talk about
Yes.
nothing. It was a joke.
Yeah.
We're wasting your time. All right, so go ahead.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Yep. We're gonna be talking about the Nothing. Well, the Nothing Phone 1 and probably the Nothing Ear 1 because I own both of them.
Simpleng flex lang, no, Roy? Simpleng flex lang. We're also going to be talking about Xbox Game Pass because now that we actually have multiple, like we've heard reviews from other people that use it, I've used it myself, and Roy here is planning on he might be getting it, maybe, I don't know, just...
Okay, listeners, this is basically Earl also flexing and then blaming me for it.
Well, what do you mean I'm flexing? Alright, we'll get down to why owning Game Pass isn't really flexing later on down the line. But first, let's begin with the Nothing Phone. Alright, so tell me, Roy, what makes the Nothing Phone so special, at least for you?
The lights.
Yeah, the backlight.
The
Like,
lights.
you're talking about the little nice backlight.
Yeah,
right?
they're called the glyph lights. All right. Okay, now as a phone, like the phone itself, it's pretty standard. Like if you're not including the lights, it's just a standard mid-range phone that costs like I'm not going to actually talk about the cost.
Yeah.
You listeners should just, search that up yourselves. Okay, so what it is, it's if you've owned a mid-range phone, you've already you already know what to expect. It's decent, it's fast enough. Value for money, let's just say it's premium.
So,
Yeah.
let's just say like it's pretty premium for what like...
Basically
get?
premium mid-range.
Yeah, I mean, like, aside from that, like, of course, Roy here showed me the Nothing Phone, and honestly, what I really like about this thing is, like, the interface, and as well as the unique font they made specifically for this phone. It's quirky, and it just screams, I have a special mid-range phone that you do not have, because look at that font, boy, look at it. It's like a nice little, you know those old LED lights? Well, they're not really old because you still see LED lights outside, near BGC.
Yeah. Oh, you mean like
Makati.
those electronics with those flashy LED lights from the early 2000s?
Yeah,
Yep.
okay, so
I
you know
know
the
those.
those font, the font and like the look of like those like warning signs that they use, like those LED warning signs or those LED like street lights. Yeah, those things. Like
Yeah, they're. Oh, you mean the dot matrix ones?
yes, the font of that
The dot
phone.
matrix phone.
Yeah,
That
looks
font.
like that, and I dig it because it just screams retro, and at the same time, when
Modern?
you look at it, it's very it's also modernized in a way because the font is what's retro, but the way it's laid out with like the UI and how everything is spaced evenly, how clean it looks, it just screams modern. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You get the best of both worlds, and that's wonderful. And also, from what I've seen from the display, of course, there is a dark mode, or I might be wrong about that, but yeah,
Of course, there is a dark mode. Everything else has a dark mode now.
yeah, the
It's
dark
2022.
Yeah, the dark mode is very, very clean and it's easy on the eyes, especially with that interface. It's just eye candy at this point. But like you said, it's just a mid-range phone, but for the value of what you get from it, honestly, you'll be the coolest, hippest kid in the block.
No, when I say value, I mean when I meant value, I meant, of course, there are going to be like cheaper phones for the price that it's that nothing is charging. Like there are multiple phones from Realme and Xiaomi that are well cheaper and let's be honest more powerful than this, but it's just the aesthetic.
Yep.
The aesthetic, its interface.
And
You
honestly,
can only get it from nothing.
yeah, and also I guess the novelty. Like you're talking about the novelty. I mean, think about it like this. Like it's like the Z Flip, right? Like the Z
Yeah.
Flip. Like there are better phones that you can buy for the price of a Z Flip, but you own a Z Flip. It's quirky.
Yeah.
It folds.
It folds. It folds like a flip phone.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like that?
And here's the thing, like the lights on the like nothing phone, you can say, oh, like yeah, I know your new iPhone 13 is more powerful, but can it do this? And then you just show the lights, all right? And then you completely destroy that person, all right? They disintegrate into ash and you steal their J's, all right? We're good, all right?
Yo!
Yo,
Oh
this-
yeah.
And then
Oh,
you look at
yeah.
the J's and realize that yo, this dude wearing fake J's.
Oh no! But in this case, it's your obviously more powerful phone against the nothing phone.
Yep.
The nothing phone will just obliterate it. Oh.
Yeah, because it's quirky, it's not okay. In a more serious note, I can understand owning a phone like this because it's appealing, you know. Like it's just really appealing. Sort of like like sort of like owning like you know those premium leather seats that some people get in their cars, or
Yeah.
or those like seasonal drinks you get at Starbucks, like the like
Yeah. The pumpkin spice one.
yeah, the pumpkin spice one for this Halloween. It's like
Yeah. A little sidetrack. I still haven't I still haven't bought one.
like which one? The pumpkin spice?
The pumpkin spice.
Oh,
yeah,
dude,
their pumpkin spice
dude,
latte.
they're really, really good. But yeah, back to the point. Like the actual, like this phone is sort of like one of those like those type of novelty phones that like don't really offer much in terms of power. But
Like
what
you
it-
say, you basically say, oh, you bought it for its quirks. Yeah, that's cool.
yeah, it's cool. And also like, does it have like a wait? Actually, for the operating system, I want to know like, did nothing make their own like operating system? Is it not?
No,
using Android?
when we meet, okay, so nothing, the nothing phone runs nothing OS, which is basically an Android skin, which it is. It's an Android skin. Now the good thing here is it because nothing is a UK company. They're based in London, by the way. They use stock Android. Like just the interface, it's stock Android. So, do you know the Google Pixel phones, Earl?
Yeah, the Google Pixel phone. Yeah, of course I know those.
Like if you've seen the interface of that, it's kind of similar.
Alright, so it has that nice, clean, like circular, like icon shape, like basically has circle icons. Yeah, I can dig that.
Let's
yeah.
just say pastel-like. Pastel-like. Let's go with that.
Oh yeah, pastel like yeah. Yeah. I can see how that's a clean interface. Honestly, there's nothing wrong
Like-
with like there's nothing wrong with not reinventing the wheel. You know, you don't have to. You know, but like
Uh-huh.
but yeah,
What do
but
you
like I guess I have a few complaints about like the nothing phone, and I can see a bunch of problems with it. For
Which
one,
is
again, it's mostly just it comes down to its pricing as well as like its quirks, which can also like work against your favor. Like for example, if you forget to turn off the backlight on those things and you put it in your pocket, and you let's say you go to the movies or you're going outside, you're essentially a beacon.
in practice, I don't think so because I've had this phone like since it was released here in the Philippines, and I have to say, when it lights up, because I don't unlike my other phone, the Z Flip, I don't actually put this on mute,
Actually, and also
so I don't actually see it flash whenever it's on my pocket.
yeah, that's just one of the small nitpicks. And another thing, since
You can
it's
turn it off, by the way.
oh that's wonderful, but come on, it's like turning off like I mean, it's like this. If you have an air fryer, you gotta say you have an air fryer, right? So it's the same thing with the nothing phone, right? You can't just turn the backlight off, all right? That's like buying a really expensive Nespresso machine and not buying pods for it. You know what I mean? All right, so the thing that okay, so back on topic. The problem that I see with this phone is like, while yes, the backlight is a novelty and it is pretty nice looking, most of the time you're gonna have your phone face up, so you're not gonna be seeing those lights anyway, unless you're taking a picture in the mirror or you're taking a picture of someone else, and they're gonna think, oh, good backlight, but even then you're covering half of it is covered because of your hand, right?
Well,
And
the thing is, about the backlight comment, yeah, you could actually turn this into a backlight with that glyph lighting.
mm-hmm.
So basically, if you have your camera on and it's dark, you can actually, you know how there's a flash? If you press the flash button one more time, it switches to the glyph light, which is nice. So it
That's
doesn't, like, the subject isn't brightly, what do you call it, brightly lit. It's kind of flush, which is kind of nice depending
Yeah.
on what you're shooting.
Yeah, it's easy on the eyes and it makes for good lighting for whatever you're taking pictures of. Let's say you're in like a dark area, you need a bit more light. The glyph lights got you covered.
Yeah, but going to your previous comment, Earl, it's more of, because of this phone, I've actually started putting it like face down more and more.
Yeah, but like, oh yeah, that's the thing though. Like, you have to sort of make it a habit to do that so that you can appreciate the design of like the back end of the phone, right? But
Yeah.
the problem is most people don't do that though. Like, you mostly whenever who like if you ask me, oh, if you put it down on the table or you leave it to charge somewhere, you leave the phone face up. And aside from
Yeah.
that, especially if like you're putting it down on a rough surface, like you might scratch your screen if you put it face down, you know? Like
Yeah.
it could be a problem, you know? But I can understand like, yeah, just put it face down so you can appreciate the design. But like that's sort of like where the problem sort of starts there. Like, it could damage your screen, and most people put their phones face up anyway, like screen side up. So
Yeah.
I don't really see
It
a point
actually,
to that.
yeah, the thing is, it probably depends on where you are in the world, I guess. Because I've read some YouTube comments and some social media comments about this. And basically, I've found, well, at least on the European and American side, don't quote me on this, this is anecdotal, is that they put their phones face down more than at least here.
Yeah, because in the Philippines, you always put it face up, man. We don't want to
We
scratch
don't-
our screen.
yeah, we don't want to scratch it. Like, phones here are expensive as is already.
Yep, and that's not accounting for inflation, so there's also that.
Oh yeah, a little side. I checked the price of the Nothing phone in Australia because remember I went to Australia last
How
August.
is it? So how is it?
It's more expensive there than here.
Of course,
Of
it's
course.
the Nothing phone. But we can of course flex to our European brethren like, your Nothing phone is how expensive compared to ours? I guess that's pretty bad, bro. I guess.
Oh, you have it
It's such a
cheaper
shame.
there? You have it cheaper there? Damn.
But yeah, like the point I really want, and another point that I really want to like make about the Nothing phone, and is I guess it's more of like something you can't really avoid with mid-range phones like this. But if you have the budget and you're not really looking for a quirky phone, you're looking for something more practical with,
Yeah, just get something cheaper.
yeah, like let's be honest, you probably will. You probably will be like, if you're just an everyday Filipino, Filipina, just looking for a phone that acts like a phone and can probably run your favorite games like ML or COD M, you'll probably just go for like a better mid-range phone than this. Like, I don't
Yeah.
really see another reason to get this phone aside from how quirky it is, or you're a phone enthusiast like Roy here.
But Earl, you're missing the fundamental part here,
Yeah.
which is for the buyer for this phone, it doesn't actually matter really. It's basically, yes, there are cheaper and better phones for the price that I'm getting this. But does it really matter if I'm looking for this specific feature, for this specific like interface, for this specific feel that I want?
Yeah, exactly. Like, you have to be that's sort of where the problem begins. Like, you have to know about this phone for it to actually matter to you. And if you're not looking for this specific phone, why bother, right? Let's say you
Yeah,
just
like why bother? You could actually say the same thing with the foldable phones now.
yeah, like
But there will always be its audience, so I am not going to like detract it so much for that.
yeah, like the audience is niche, and there are people that like niche phones, and it's that audience that, well, nothing is trying to get like a hold of, because if you think about it, the niche quirky phone audience, technically there's only like 2 companies I know that have like a handle on that, maybe 3. Like I think it's not Apple. I think it's Samsung because of their foldable phones and
No,
nothing.
no.
Like there's
I don't think Samsung even counts there.
all right, because
Their foldable phones are mainstream already.
oh, okay, then I
Yeah.
guess it's just nothing then. But yeah, like if you get a foothold of like the niche quirky phone market, that's you technically have a monopoly on it, or you're
I mean,
close to having monopoly on it.
I mean, for let's go to India for now, because in India, wait, what do you call their? Let's see, they have this price brackets. Like, of course, like phones fall under certain price brackets. So, like for the 30,000 rupee bracket, which is like 30,000 rupee and up bracket, the nothing phone there is king.
Oh, okay.
So
Well, of
like
course,
with
like,
more than 100,000 phones sold, which is like the number one phone there currently in that segment. I'm not sure if it's still like that today, but let's just say that nothing's doing good as of now.
yeah, it's doing good as of now because it
Yeah.
found its audience, it's found its market,
It found
man.
its audience. It looks like it's making a profit there. So, well, yeah,
Well, yeah, it's pretty good on there. Alright,
pretty
so
good.
alright, so this is what I want to talk about the Nothing phone. Alright, so the thing about the Nothing phone that I really like and can probably see, like, okay, there's a reason why people would buy this aside from like the backlight, the interface, and whatnot, is because of just the value of its quirkiness and for the fact that you can say, I owned the first Nothing phone, and guess what? I also have with it that comes with this phone. The Nothing is right? The Nothing earbuds, right? It's
The nothing ear one.
Yeah, the Nothing Ear One, which is okay in terms of audio. How does it how
It's
does it
alright.
stand out? It's okay.
It's
okay,
alright.
So,
It's okay. Yeah.
so is the sound crisp? Like, is the sound crisp or the sound?
I mean, it's bassy enough for me. I kind of like it. So, I mean, the design is cool. It's bassy enough. It's crisp enough, like for calls. Because get this, this is like my main wireless earbuds. So like, what do you call it? Like, when I'm doing like daily stand-ups for work, I use the Nothing earbuds.
and they work wonders, just don't they?
They work wonders. Like the mic is good, audio quality is good for me at least.
So I guess
yeah.
you can say that for the earbuds, you got nothing to complain about. Huh? Okay.
My God, Earl.
Okay, you got nothing to complain about for the earbuds. You got nothing. Okay, you might have something to complain about the phone, but nothing to complain about the earbuds. All right. Okay,
Yeah.
so for the design, can you describe it for me? Like, what makes these earphones stylish, and what makes it fit the Nothing aesthetic?
The Nothing aesthetic is basically, what do you call it? No, it's not grungy. It's, what do you call it?
I guess
They're really into transparent design. Like you can see through it, if you know what I mean.
yeah, it's like I really like the mixture of white and black that they do. Like, it feels very clean.
Don't forget the red.
Yeah, red. Yeah, also red and a little bit of gray. It makes it like just the way they blend these colors together, and as well as be able to like just make the design distinct enough so that when you look at it, you think, this is definitely from Nothing. Because you know, Apple has a distinct design, Samsung has a distinct design, pretty much any other main phone line has a distinct design. And it's nice to know that Nothing was able to like sort of make themselves distinct in a market where phones look similar nowadays, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like its selling point. Really, is that when everything else looks bland, yeah. At least something stands out.
Yeah, this one looks clean. Like, it's not really that it's bland, it's simple, it's clean and distinct. And that is good good phone design. It's sort of like the same thing with character design, and okay, it's off topic, but it's sort of like the same thing with character design where if you're able
Earl.
to discern the features of a character, in this case the phone, then it's good design because it's distinct enough to know that okay, this character or slash this phone is of this brand. And for that, I would like to open my 30-page essay of why Peter Griffin is good character design. Okay.
You know, Earl. You know what I was about to say
Yeah.
to you.
But
I was about to say, Earl, this better not devolve into a Peter Griffin joke.
it is. I mean, you can't deny it. Peter Griffin is one of the most easily recognizable characters next to people like SpongeBob or Goku. It's so hard not to see them. Alright.
Lois, I have the nothing phone, Lois.
I have the nothing phone, Lois. Alright, so moving on from the nothing phone and its nothing features and its nothing like accessories. I guess there's nothing more to talk about.
Wait,
Let's
just before we move on to Game Pass,
yeah.
I don't know if my microphone here will pick it up, but have a listen to these ringtones.
Oh, just put it close to the mic. Oh,
Hear it?
Yes. Oh, there's the beeping.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's kind of
kinda
cool.
cool.
Feels kind of futuristic, like having a little like robot in your pocket. Yeah, I like that. It's
Yeah.
really nice.
And yeah, the ringtones change with the lights as well. Like the lights change.
Oh, like they have this nice little flashing effect to it, right?
Yeah. Though if someone out there has like photosensitivity issues,
Yeah, that might be a problem.
you might want to turn it off.
Yeah,
So-
just turn off the backlight. All right, we hold no responsibility. Should you keep them on and you end up breakdancing everywhere? Okay, okay, okay. So, moving on.
Let's
Alright,
talk
so
Game Pass.
let's talk Game Pass. All right, and there's a reason why on one of my Discord nicknames on the server I'm in, I'm called Game Pass Shiller there because I will always shill Game Pass to pretty much anyone living in C. All right.
Okay, and if you listeners want to know how much Earl has been shilling for Game Pass, he has been shilling it to me for the past few months already.
Yep. It's because it's just that good. It's bang for your buck. Because, okay, so tell me, what is the number one problem with always getting AAA games?
It's expensive.
Exactly, the price. They can easily go upwards of $40 to $60, which is
like 3K.
yeah, which is
3K
around
here.
3K here, right? Not accounting, and that's not even accounting for inflation. So what does Game Pass do? Game Pass makes it so that only for 119 pesos a month, 119 pesos a month, you can have access to all of Microsoft's titles, flagship or not, and also indie games that are available on its catalog. Think Netflix, but for gaming. And let me just show you all of the games that are here because I have it open on another tab here. It has
Of
the
course.
entire Yakuza series, not counting Like a Dragon 7 because apparently that's region locked to US for Game Pass as of now. They're still working on a way to bring it to C, but it's just as easy. But if you want to play Yakuza Like a Dragon 7, it's just as easy as just switching your region, like from your Windows PC, from like the Philippines to the US, and you're all set. But the fact that the entire Yakuza series here, 0 all the way up to 6, is just insane, dude. And that's not even counting for the other games that they announced. Like Dragon Studios has announced more games, and they're all gonna come to Game Pass, and that's wonderful. Except for Judgment and Lost Judgment, but let's be honest, they're gonna milk that game for everything it's worth. And aside from that, the entire Battlefield series is here. You also got, hold on, you also got the entire Crisis series here. The Dead Space trilogy is here. You have Dead by Daylight, Deathloop, Death Stranding, Hideo Kojima's masterpiece. That's also arguably boring. It has the entire Doom collection except for 2016, which is they're planning on bringing it here. They're still like fixing out like the quirks with it because they still, contracts, bureaucracy and all that, but we don't care about that. We care about the games.
Yeah.
So it also has the Dishonored trilogy. It has the Dishonored series here. So from the first Dishonored series all the way to Death of the Outsider, Dishonored 2, and what have you.
Alright,
even-
Earl. Alright, Earl. I have a question, which no doubt I kinda know already. Does Game Pass have Train Sim World?
Yes, it does. It even has City Skylines. And,
Let's go.
So, word of advice, alright? If you don't have Game Pass, just get it. It's 119 pesos a month. And even if you grow tired of it, you can just try it out for 1 month for like essentially 130 pesos. And or no, not 30, 120 pesos. And just cancel your subscription like the next month if you don't like it. And here's the thing, for 119 pesos a month, just like that's a lot cheaper than Netflix, and you have access to all of these games that you can download and play as much as you want. it's worth it. It's like you're stealing from Microsoft, and that's why like I think that they're like the marketing team for this is really smart because you'll always buy something if it feels like na binibenta na ng palugi, 'di ba? Parang ganon, like you're getting it for really really cheap.
Cheap.
But here are some ground rules I'm gonna lay about Microsoft about Game Pass, which is as much as possible, don't play all the AAA games first. You
Of
should,
course.
because if you do,
that really gets taxing and that really bores you real quick, doesn't it?
yes, you'll get really bored of it real quick because there are a lot of indie games that are on on Game Pass that are really really good. If I may request one, there's one called Coffee Talk, and Coffee Talk is a game where you live in this like fantasy modern world where demons, elves, orcs, everyone lives in like this modern city setting, and you play as a barista making coffee for them, listening to their problems, and also figuring out which coffee works for what situation. For example, you got a policeman asking you, okay, so things feel kind of tough, I need something a bit strong to keep myself awake. So what do you give him? An espresso shot, right?
Earl, if Sergey was listening to this right now, or if he was here co-hosting, he would have a blast.
Yeah, you absolutely would. And also,
espresso.
let's not forget, we all played this game at one point, and if for those who haven't, please play this game because it's on Game Pass. Plants vs Zombies is on this, and yes, I know it's on that's an EA title, but Game Pass also makes it so that if you have Game Pass, you also have EA Play, which is EA's subscription service, and that means you also have access to EA games, select EA games, mind you. And for me, this is just the final nail in the coffin of why Game Pass is such good value. Because you know how there are gaming conferences held almost monthly or every other month or every year?
Yeah, I'm aware.
If it's a Microsoft conference, chances are every single game they announce is always going to come to Game Pass. That means you're not stuck with the same catalog because every month they're always bringing in new games to add to Game Pass, and that includes also the indie game titles and the new titles coming out. And just to make a point, Scorn, A Plague's Tale Requiem, all the Warhammer games from Games Workshop, that Rick and Morty High on Life game, and of course
City Skylines.
And of course City Skylines and Football Manager, they're all coming to Game Pass. So absolutely buy this game, absolutely buy this software service because it's just wonderful and it saves you money in the long run. For 1K, you have it for 10 months. That's 10 months of this that you can just keep playing to your heart's content. And of course, it also contains the hit game Among Us, which is, for me, the only real reason to get this. It has Forza Horizon 4, it has Forza Horizon 5, it has the Solitaire Collection, it has the Dragon Age Collection. For the love of all that is gamer,
it even has Sim City.
Yeah,
whoa,
get it! It's worth it! Alright, so that's enough gushing about Game Pass. Now let's talk about the problems with Game Pass that I have. For one,
alright,
it uses the Xbox app for Microsoft. And that in itself should tell you what you need to know. It's clunky, a lot of the features don't work sometimes, but hey, that's a small price to pay for all the games, right?
Right. It's only $150 per month.
One major bug is that when you try to change your Xbox icon to something else, it just won't load, and you have to do it manually, and you have to download a mobile app to do that. And I'm just thinking, why? Why would you do that?
So Earl, did you download the Xbox app on your phone?
No, I wouldn't, because it eats up so much memory. And okay, in terms of customizability, it's nice, but at the same time, the UI could be better. It's clean, like I will admit, but the UI gets confusing because half the time you have to see for you to see all the games available on Game Pass, you have to click a tab called All PC Games. Otherwise, it only shows you a couple of them that are recommended for you, which is for me. Why not just show everything
only
right?
Wait, only the recommended, not even the the recent games you've played?
It shows the recent games you played if you have played them, but it only shows the recommended ones, the recently added and coming to Game Pass. So you're not seeing the whole catalog because you have to press a tiny tab that says show all PC games, and then it'll show everything. And I'm just thinking, wouldn't it be easier if you just click Game Pass and it immediately shows you everything, right? And then have tabs for recommended, recently played, or coming to Game Pass. That makes more sense. Alright? But no, it's Microsoft being Microsoft. The masters of UI design decide, no, we won't do that. We want you to look for it. You need to work for it.
But hey Earl, 150 a month.
But hey, that's like that's 119 a month. That's worth it. It's like 120 pesos a month. Worth every single penny. And the best part about this is since you're a Game Pass holder, that means that in some games you have access to exclusive items. Like for example, for Yakuza, you get a special item that if you're a Game Pass owner for specific games. In Kiwami 2, it was, if I remember in Kiwami 2, it was like a special outfit that you could wear. So yeah, you get exclusive items if you're a Game Pass holder. And aside from that, well, you have the entire catalog to work with. But of course, with all good things must come bad things. And that is that of course, as good as Game Pass is with its wide range of games, it also takes them away. Microsoft giveth, Microsoft taketh away. Bill, the almighty Bill has spoken. And he decides that while you do have all of these games and you can play them as much as you want,
yeah, you're only renting them.
Yeah, to add new games, he has to take away ones that aren't doing so well. Like for now, I'm looking at the Leaving Soon tab, and so far, a game called Bloody Roots, Sable, Ring of Pain, and Echo Generation are leaving Game Pass to make room for the newer titles coming in. And the reason Microsoft does this is, of course, for contractual obligations. They have to make sure that they stick to their part of the contract and make sure.
Yeah, of course, it's all limited. It's all limited. Like, for example, it's only going to be here for 6 months or 12 months.
Yeah, it depends
that's what's in the contract.
Yeah, it depends really because, Nuclear Throne is still in Game Pass and that game's been out for how long now, right? It's still there and that it never left. Another thing that I'm so sad left was What Remains of Edith Finch, one of the best indie games and story and narrative driven games just left Game Pass. What Remains of Edith Finch is one of the best indie games that I've ever played, and I can tell you this.
Yeah, I've heard good words about it.
If you haven't played it, I recommend you highly do, or just watch a YouTube video about it, because the story is just that good. Alright, so that's enough Game Pass. So, alright, how long has it been? Oh, it's been 30 minutes already. You know what? I think that's a good place to end out the episode, Roy, wouldn't you?
Well, yeah.
So
30 minutes seems good for now.
Yeah, so to recap, please get Game Pass, and please, if you like, consider the Nothing phone if you want a new mid-range phone. Alright? Because
the Game Pass shiller has spoken, guys. Get Game Pass. How much is it, Earl? How much per month?
19 pesos a month.
Let's go.
119. So that means that's literally 1 day's worth of allowance for most people. And of course, 1 second for them rich boys at Ateneo.
Wow, Earl. Wow, Earl.
They'd be always flexing. I got 5K from my dad. That's for like the rest of like the week. And we're like, oh, I'm sorry for being poor. It's not my fault. All right. So okay.
My God, Earl.
Oh yeah, that's a very good way. Okay, so let's end it out. All right. Again, this is always on display, and we'll see you next time for when we
we
record episode 2. All right. See ya.
See you guys.